Happy Saturday. Today is Saturday, October 24th, week 43 of 2020. We've had a great week. I hope you have too. Week started out on Sunday, the 18th. We didn't do much that day. It was kind of cold and rainy. On Monday, I was chatting with one of my coworkers. He was talking about some coffee cake that he really likes. And I was thinking about that the only time as a kid that I ever had coffee cake was at my grandparents' house. And then I was wondering, did Grandma and Grandpa always have coffee cake at their house, or was that just their grandparently thing that they did for when we were visiting? I don't know. But it did get me to thinking about, how am I going to be as a grandparent? I know that's quite a few years away, I'm sure. So at that same time, I was thinking, I like to do this exercise every once in a while, thinking about how old was I when my parents were my age. So like next month, I'll be turning 48. When my dad was 48, I was born the year that he turned 22. So 48, why am I having trouble with this math? When my dad was 48, I was 26. Is that right? Yeah. So my oldest right now is 18. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, because that means, I wonder how old my grandparents were when I was born. My grandpa was 51 when I was born. So that's like me having a grandchild just 3 years from now. That's just blows my mind. Yeah, 36 months from now, me being a grandparent. That's not even, well, I guess it could be, technically. Wow. On Monday also, I was watching a friend of mine's video about people's memories. It was actually, I mentioned him last week, Nicola Menacacci. He has the New York in Yellow Shoes channel, and he was talking about people's memories of going up into the torch of the Statue of Liberty. He lives out in New York, and he's a tour guide. And he mentioned that sometimes people have memories of things that never really happened. And it got me thinking about things like the Mandela effect, where lots of people remember something that's not the way that it actually happened. And then he mentioned, as I was chatting with him about the Mandela effect, he mentioned the concept of mirror neurons. And I guess mirror neurons are something in our brains that works in a way that if we see someone doing something, there are many times we will have memories of us doing it ourselves. Something, I don't know, mirror neurons is very, very fascinating. There's a lot of information out there about it. But that was my curiosity for Monday. When I was talking with my manager about the mirror neuron thing, he mentioned that his mom has a memory of him being very stubborn at like preschool age, so 4 years old or so, and that he didn't like what his mom picked out for him to wear that day, and so instead of wearing anything, he just got in the car to go to preschool with no clothes on at all. And my manager's like, the fact is that didn't happen, but it did happen with a friend of mine who did that, a friend of his that did that. He's certain that his mom is remembering that he did it when it was actually, she had been told the story by the mom of his friend. So I find that interesting that our memories of what has happened in the past is not always reliable as fact. But, hey, never let the facts get in the way of a good story, right? Same thing along those lines with memories. I was thinking about that there's stories from my childhood that I've heard told so many different times that I feel like I have a memory of it when I was too young. For instance, my dad tells the story of, I was his firstborn and he had raised a lot of dogs before I was born, and he was telling us the story of changing my diaper, and he said, and he's just moving around all over the place and, moving his hind legs, and my grandma looks at him and says, "Hind legs? Kurt, you've been around too many dogs." And I feel like I have a memory of that, but there's no way I could possibly. On Tuesday, the interesting things of orders from Amazon continued. So I got this little block calendar, and you can turn the blocks around each day, and there's months, day, and year. Well, I'm looking through it, and I'm like, where's October? Apparently they got a mix-up in packaging somewhere, and January, April, and October were missing. So I contacted Amazon. They replied that I didn't have to send it back. They would just send me a brand new one. So the new one arrived, and now I have duplicates of some, but at least I have one of every month. Kind of silly, but hey, things happen. Also on Tuesday, Bryan had his last cross-country race of the year. He got another personal record. He got I think it was 20 minutes and 52 seconds. So it's a personal record by 6 seconds, but it's still a personal record. And in that race, he got 4th place over all of JV. He was very excited. He got a medal for that, being one of the top 10. He's excited because he's thinking that probably next year, since 4 of their varsity runners are seniors this year, and he's just a sophomore, that there's a good chance he's going to be able to run varsity next year. On Wednesday, it was a great day for driving around looking at the fall colors during my lunch break. Also, late Wednesday afternoon, evening, I watched another video that Nicola put out on New York and Yellow Shoes. He talked with a gentleman. I'll put a link in the video here. The guy he talked with is a fashion consultant. I think that's his title. He helps people that would like to update their fashion style, the way that they dress, to match more of their age or more of their profession or more of their personality. And they don't really know how to do that, but they're more than willing to hire someone to help them do that. So this guy has made a career out of that, and he loves it. He did a lot of other things before working in this, has always enjoyed this, and has finally been able to make a career of it. So Nicola spent some time interviewing him. It was pretty fascinating. I hadn't thought about that type of profession being a thing, but I can see how if you're an incredibly busy person in your professional career, but your strengths are in business or your strengths are in some other type of art form or something, but fashion really isn't on your radar, it would be good to hire someone to help you have a style that reflects who you are. I can see somebody hiring people for something like that. Thursday, we had more crazy weather again. It got up to 80 something before it dropped to the colder temperatures we're having right now. You know, I'm out here at Fellows Lake and I was hoping to sit at the picnic table over there and record this, but 1, it's too windy, and 2, it's just too cold. It's in the 40s right now. And the 40s for people in Celsius, I guess that's single digits. Also on Thursday, I came across this guy. His whole channel he's called Mr. Reverse, and all he does is play things backwards. So that kind of inspired me to do some playing around with playing things backwards for, you know, the intros and outros for this channel here. It's kind of fun, easy to do, a whole lot easier and cheaper than learning how to do digital effects and graphics and that sort of thing. You know, it's stuff that anybody can do, and it's interesting to look at the same time. So I don't know, it was goofy, but it's one of those weird things on when you watch these videos, you're like, why am I watching this? I know all he's doing is making it go backwards, but it looks neat, it looks cool. Same with the other channels that we've watched with the boys over the years. Like there's one called Red Hot Nickel Ball, I think, and all they did was take a ball made of nickel, put it under a torch until it was red hot, and then they put that on top of things that it would melt, like a Rubik's Cube and or a ginormous gummy bear type of thing. Why was that fascinating? Well, I don't know. Why is it fascinating, the channel that has the hydraulic press that crushes things? I feel silly sitting there watching those things, but at the same time, it's so engaging, and I don't know why. Friday last night, Bryan had his 16th birthday party, had a bunch of friends over. They were hoping to play outside a whole lot more, but of course the weather didn't cooperate. But that's okay, they still had a great time. They watched some movies, they played some games indoors. 16th birthday, I can't believe it. I mean, it feels like Bryan was just born. And that brings us up to today, Saturday. It's a little bit of an overcast day. Today, Ben's gonna have, or a lot of an overcast day actually. Today, Ben is gonna have his last baseball game of the year. He's excited about that. We're a little less excited because it's cold. For sitting there doing nothing. At least the baseball players get to run around and do something and stay a little warmer that way. But it's been a great baseball year and Ben has loved it. Well, that wraps up week 43 of 2020. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.